let's just
right
switch
before
over
we
to the
start.
live stream right now.
I've been giving
everybody.
you slight nods.
Welcome to the live stream. You'll notice our little collection of characters is a bit different this stream, and that's because one of our players is out of the country. So we're doing something a little different today. We are taking a step into the future, and only one of our players knows this is happening so far. So
what?
let me
what?
Me.
Let me just break this to the other guy who showed up.
Wait, what?
We're going back to the 25th century and catching
Epic
up.
of Fools time?
Yeah, we're catching up with our Epic of Fools characters. So you've got the wrong character sheet open, buddy.
Oh wait, do I gotta open Aethers?
Yes.
Yes.
Now that being said, I also need to open up.
Wait,
these
can I use
files.
my arm? My sleeve?
Yes.
Yes.
Fuck
Also
yes.
All
also
right.
the gravity gun.
So this is why I didn't tell them before. Also, I thought it would be a lot funnier this way. So
Yep, Jackson. I hopped in before the session started, and he told me.
That I did. Where are these character sheets? Anyways, welcome to the stream, everybody. We're gonna get started in just a moment here. We're still waiting on a couple people to show up. Hopefully they'll be here soon.
I guess I'm not sole commanding officer
Yeah,
today.
you're not even a commanding officer at
Nope.
all. Alright. Let me just get these guys open here for the people I know are gonna be here. So we got these guys. Alright. Fantastic.
Can you hear me eating on the mic?
Nope.
I don't believe so,
Okay.
no. You're
Good.
all good. Alright. Now, with that out of the way, that little disclaimer about why we're doing things the way we're doing them today, let's run the intro. Here we go.
Is it an Epic of Fools intro?
It is an Epic of Fools intro. Hang on, give me a second here. I forgot to set up.
Pull it up in pull it up in the voice channel.
Yeah, I forgot to set up a hotkey. Give me a second. This is so good. I had to create an entirely new thing for this. So yeah. All right, here we go.
The amount of
Let's-
effort this man has put into this.
Let's play our intro.
So we got our new ship.
We are back after that intro. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I spent like an hour making it. So here we go.
I'm so excited. I get to be Triton again.
Yes.
Yes.
Not Enzo.
So, welcome to the Epic of Fools Phase 2. This is a continuation of the previously unaired version. Let me check my audio here. I'll set. Okay, everything is good. Good. I need to make sure I'm doing this live stream thing right. Anyways, this episode is a continuation of an unstreamed campaign that we did before. Who is watching the stream live and playing it through their mic? I know it's one
That'd
of
be
you.
Jackaboy. I have your stream muted.
My mic was muted.
I heard it coming through. That's really funny.
My mic was muted. I literally had it in the up click position.
That is so funny.
I have your stream muted, so I don't know.
Okay, whatever. I'll mute the stream.
Anyways, this little episode here, this is gonna be a bit of a shorter live stream, cause we don't have a lot of our players, but yeah, we're gonna this. What am I trying to say? This episode is a continuation of an unstreamed sort of practice run of Star Trek Adventures that we did just before yesteryear. This does take place in yesteryear's canon, so yeah. Would you guys like to introduce your characters to the people who don't know who the hell you are? Seeing as you're different people in yesteryear.
Captain should go first, right?
Sure,
Okay.
we could do that. I don't care what you guys
Captain Uejug.
That's one great introduction.
That's all?
Just
You're
that
welcome.
name.
Hey, is that not just the essence of Jug?
I mean, fair
Alrighty.
enough.
Aether Triton, chief science officer on the. Fuck, what was our? It's been so long, I forgot what our ship was called.
Well, you wouldn't know it anyways unless you read the little prologue or the epilogue I made for you guys.
I forgot what it was called.
The executive at this time has been scrapped. You guys have a new ship.
Chief science officer for Captain Jug.
That
I
was-
once cut my arm off at a Manic episode, but now I got this cool sleeve instead of a whole cybernetic arm. Because I replaced my arm with a cybernetic one in a Manic episode.
A lot of missing
Yeah,
context there, but let's move on.
There's
You
a
want
lot
me
of
to go
missing
into more
context.
detail? I can go into more detail.
No.
I mean, we
Stop.
could kill time until Gabe gets here, because Gabe is gonna arrive late. So we could.
You know
do,
what? You're
the
right.
Character backstories if you guys really
Alrighty.
want to.
So,
Get ready,
I'll pass
guys,
this night.
because out here. Let me tell this brief story about Epic of Fools. When we were first starting out, we asked all the players, who's basically everyone in yesteryear. We asked everyone to create a little bit of a short backstory for their character, just to help them get into get into their characters and help them kind of become their characters. How D&D
mine was
works.
like twice the size of
So-
everyone else's.
Yeah. So we said keep it short. It should be like a brief summary of who your character is. The rest should be shown through how you play the character. Jackson over here wrote an essay. So, yeah, everyone else wrote 3-4 sentences for their backstory. Jackson wrote a paragraph. It was great. So,
So
yeah.
should I introduce him more detailed?
And you got the time. Go ahead.
Aether Triton was born into
Gotta
a
pad the
quote unquote high society family on Trill. They were diplomats, they were scientists, but Triton didn't really fit in with his family much. He went off to a academy instead of just going straight forward into this science academy. He went into a different academy. He went into Dracon Academy. Yes, I just made that name up out of nowhere. And he was top of the
That is
class in
theme
all
of Epic
year.
of Fools. We made a lot of things up as we went along.
Yeah.
For those of you just
so
joining, we are currently padding out the runtime because we're waiting for one of our other players to join. Should be any minute now. Yeah.
So he got top marks, and in his final year, for his master's project, so quote unquote, he was kind of really tired and sleep deprived and had a lot of coffee, so he wasn't really thinking straight, which is also coherent trend with the Aether of this time. So instead of, finding someone who needed a cybernetic arm because he was a master's in cybernetics, he chopped his own arm off and put it on himself. And yeah. And then after I know I'm glancing right past that. Yeah, he cut his arm off. But after that, instead of,
did in the campaign too. Like,
yeah. So after that, instead of going back to his family, he went straight into Starfleet Academy and didn't get top marks there, but was still did fairly good. He got pretty high marks in the science and engineering departments, but not more than that. So
you guys can see what I mean about he put a little too much into this.
So he was an ensign for a little while. Then he in the campaign he was a junior lieutenant. At the end of it, he became a lieutenant. So, let's see, what was I going on with?
He became a lieutenant like midway through.
It was midway through.
Yeah,
you didn't tell me
that. Lieutenant commander at the time of this episode.
Oh, okay. But so, after he was going to get assigned on his ship, his father called him back because it was around the time that Trill were getting joined, and his other two sons weren't able to get joined. So he called Aether back to get joined with a symbiote. And Aether thought his father, it was around the time of his birthday. So he thought his father finally remembered his birthday. So when he got there and he found out that his father just, was going to use him again for a social standing, he rightfully kind of got pissed at him, but still doesn't know how to say no to him. So he ended up getting joined. So he ended up with the N symbiote, which, little fun fact, he got into some trouble with Section 31, basically the Men in Black of the Star Trek universe, sort of. Right? Isn't that kind of what it is?
Yep.
Evan?
Yes.
Because it had a piece of the Iconian world heart within it. So, yeah. So he got in trouble with them.
This is going into like actual campaign stuff now rather than character backstory.
Yeah, I'm just ending it right now. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but then he got assigned on the ship and he went off on the executive and he started his that Epic of Fools journey.
All right.
I forgot a crucial point. He upgraded his cybernetic arm with Iconian technology, but he wasn't allowed to use it because he would probably be killed if he did use it because of the Section 31.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Now, to clarify...
And then there's me.
Really quick, to clarify for those of you who are very confused by what you just heard and are thinking, that's not very Star Trek-like. No, you're right. That's why this is an alternate universe. Because I was too lenient on a lot of things for the first campaign, so we kind of had to retcon it into a separate universe. But yeah, that's besides the point. Anyways, Santos, would you like to give a more description of your character rather than just
Except
the name?
I'm Oijug.
That is not how you say my character's name.
Sorry, I could never figure out how to say it properly.
I've said it Uwe Jug.
Uwe Jug.
Where's Gabe? We gotta get this episode started.
I know. I don't even remember where I have my backstory. I don't even remember where my backstory is. Let's fucking move on to scenes.
Move on to scenes. Alright, would you guys like to take your first scene then? This is your first time interacting in like a year. And actually, you know,
Dope.
just because it's been a while since Epic of Fools wrapped up, it's not really been that long. It's only been like maybe 4 weeks. It's not that long, but anyways, last time on Epic of Fools, we stole the Star Trek Picard ending. It's that simple. So, major spoiler alert for Star Trek Picard. But if you haven't seen it yet, go see it. It's
If you're watching this before you watch season 3 of Picard, why? This is dog shit.
Well, yeah, pretty much. This is so much worse than what CBS is putting out right now. So, you know, go watch that first before you watch this. Anyways, spoiler warning out of the way. You have been warned, by the way. So if you stick around and get spoilers for Picard Season 3, that's your own fault. In our universe, Picard Season 3's ending did not involve the Enterprise, nor did it involve any of the cast of Picard. So, did the starship get refitted? Is this a new crew on the museum ship Enterprise D? No. This is not on the Enterprise. This is a crew of an entirely separate ship. We're going to get into that really fast in just a second here.
Something real funny is I haven't watched Picard Season 3, and I accidentally, along with some of the crew, followed along the ending to a T.
So, essentially, what happened for their ending, they decided to do exactly what Picard and crew did at the end of Season 3. Because the way I set up their finale for their campaign is I just literally stole Picard Season 3. And just kind of did the whole changelings and the Borg working together, infiltrating Starfleet to sabotage
I'm kind of mad.
Assimilate them on Frontier Day.
Because we're gonna have a Time Bureau ending. But no! He didn't want to do all the legwork. So we just stole season 3 of Picard's ending.
It was Picard did a much better job of making a good ending than I could have done with the temporal accord stuff. Okay, I wasn't convinced by my temporal accord stuff, which is why it's only kind of coming back in Yesteryear. Spoilers for future Yesteryear's episodes, because it's we're gonna do time travel stuff.
Yeah, wasn't like the Bureau like introduced like mainly in like Accords, introduced mainly in like Enterprise?
Yes. Anyways, let me get back to
like
telling.
Was it like the Time Cold War or something?
Yeah, Temporal Cold War. Anyways, let me get back to telling the story of Epic of Fools. Ending of Epic of Fools. They decided to go to the Starfleet Museum following the Borg assimilation of Starfleet at Frontier Day. You know, as they do. They stole a shuttle from their ship, which at the time was the USS Executive, Sovereign class, and yeah. Anyways, they stole a shuttlecraft, went to the Fleet Museum, and stole the Defiant instead of the Enterprise, because, you know, they didn't know the Enterprise was there. So, instead, they decided to steal the Defiant. Also, they decided to take the Defiant because it was a purpose-built warship. They basically did the entirety of the Season 3 ending with the Defiant instead of the Enterprise D.
Come on, oh y'all, it's a sabotage. Sorry. That's what was running through my head when we were doing the whole, like, mothership thing.
They defeat the Borg, blow up the cube, save Starfleet, and the Executive gets scrapped. And that leads us to today, where the Executive is scrapped, Captain Jug and his trusty crew of misfits have been given access to a brand new ship of a new class to the 2409, or no, not 2409, it's not 2409, it's 2412 now. By the way, I did shuffle around a bunch of dates to make Yesteryear, Epic Fools, all that kind of fit more with the Star Trek Online canon, because I prefer that. Like, no offense to the showrunners of season 3, because I really love it. It's the best season. But they did the Enterprise F dirty. Enterprise F should have gotten a hell of a lot more screen time, and it deserves to still be out
While
there.
you're rambling, I'm gonna be right back. I gotta put ranch back in the fridge.
Alright, you're all good.
Just keep rambling if you'd like.
Yeah, I gotta stall till Gabe gets here. Anyways, at the time of this episode, they have been given access to a brand new ship. And to answer your question, chat, it is not a Galaxy Dreadnought class. The Galaxy class has been phased out in favor of the Ross class by this time period. And we are being phased into the Aventine class, which is a subclass of the Vesta, which is basically only canon to Star Trek Online. You guys probably saw it in the opening. I got a couple ship shots of it flying around to play behind the LCARs, which are great. You guys should totally go check out the website those are on, titan.ds on Mihu. It's pretty good.
Not sponsored, by the way.
Yeah, not sponsored. But yeah, really, really cool LCAR system. Very cool interactive. It's awesome. I love it. Anyways, to get to the point, they have been given the new ship USS Triaxa, which is named after the Denobulan home system, which is very fitting, as Captain Jug is himself a Denobulan. So, yeah.
Yo.
Now, we are going to start a scene here while we're waiting on Gabe. It should only be a few more minutes, I hope. And really quick, we should probably introduce, like, some of the other members of the crew, because I gotta stall, okay? I'm just stalling for time. We need more people here. We can't just do this with 2 people and a game master. That's not how games work. So, actually, let's start with Captain Jug. Describe yourself or the backstory you can remember for yourself. I just need to stall for time, man.
Fucking no, all right. It is not nearly as grand as Jackson's. I was born on a frontier colony that specialized in medicine. Board game. Oh no, hold up. I think it was. God, I really wish I could find the actual backstory. I adult now, and I was sent out on a mission. What mission that was, don't ask. And then we encountered the Borg, got yoinked by them, a very professional term. I have no idea who Dr. Phlox is.
Dr. Phlox is the doctor from Enterprise, and no.
Oh, I want to read.
A quick.
It would be cool, but no.
Yeah, quick disclaimer. Quick disclaimer for this one guy in chat. I have not watched any Star Trek. I know very little bits of information about it and joined because I thought it was cool.
Yeah. Another disclaimer, when we started Epic of Fools, pretty much nobody except for me knew anything about Star Trek. With exception to me and Dr. Farron.
Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, me and Dr. Farron were the only 2 who really knew much about Star Trek. It was interesting.
Fuck, what's ours called? I already forgot.
Yesteryear?
Yesteryear, yeah. Well, and that's the commander. That's our first officer in the Yesteryear, Farron.
Yeah.
Not really a Star Wars fan. In fact, I haven't watched anything Star Wars in like years.
Yeah, they're not exactly like not fans of Star Trek. They're just not enlightened. They haven't been brought into the light yet.
I mean, I've watched a little bit of Deep Space Nine and Enterprise, but
yeah.
Which software teeth a bit longer. I think I might have found my backstory.
Where's Gabe?
Which the only reason I watched Deep Space Nine is because Evan said that it had a lot to do with the Trill.
Yeah.
Like a
Alright,
lot of the Trill stuff was in that.
Good news, I found my backstory.
Fantastic. We can
Okay.
stall longer.
Okay, so... Oh yeah, originally my character was a commander, but then got promoted to captain. Evan, you can tell that story.
Yeah, I will.
So my commander Droog grew up on a Denobulan colony on the far side of the Alpha Quadrant, and during his childhood, he studied medical sciences to continue his family's legacy of medical service. However, after an encounter with the Borg in his late teens, Joog would serve as a Borg drone for 15 years. He
I
was...
love that word. You would serve as a Borg drone. It's so funny to me. I don't know why. I
I'm not
forgot
good
all
at
of our
backstories, alright?
It's
I'm not
so
good at
funny.
backstories, alright? And you were the one who helped me with this.
I know.
Wasn't Baron something like getting high on shrooms?
And Juke would serve as a Borg drone for 15 years, after which he was found at the crash site of a Borg sphere by the USS Reclamation and was liberated from the Collective over a period of 2 years, eventually joining Starfleet Medical Division, achieving the rank of Commander, and subsequently being placed as First Officer aboard the Executive.
Alright. As you guys can see, much more along the lines of what I was expecting people to do with their backstories, rather than what Jackson did, which was write an essay.
Literally,
I'm gonna keep bringing that up because you literally changed the font size on the document we all shared just to fit it into the space we designated.
Okay, shush. But literally,
no, you changed the font size because you couldn't fit everything that you wanted to fit in there. It's like, it's a brief thing. You can do character work to flesh it out in the game. We just wanted a baseline, Jackson.
okay, but on the other hand, he got his happy birthday wishes when he got back to Starfleet, but his father was like, I don't even care if it's your birthday, bitch.
Alright. I feel like this episode's going to be mostly reminiscing on Epic of Fools because we're still waiting on Gabe.
Alright, well,
That's
given the fact that we've already stalled with backstories, I think we should move on to scenes.
I agree. Let's see.
We might leave
I
if we
forgot to open
don't
the-
start soon.
I forgot to open the thing. Hang on. I am professional, good GM. I am so good at this. I swear I'm good. Let's answer the question in the chat. How much tactical experience does the XO have? I believe that's directed at you, Captain Jude. Seeing as you were the XO for a time.
I don't know the answer to that question. My character was really haphazardly put together.
If it's in reference to our current XO, who is Commander Raisin, yes, Commander Raisin is a really, really fun story. Their first officer is a Jem'Hadar. That's gonna take some explaining, because it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense when you think about
A question to
Long
chat.
story
Question
short.
to chat. Hold on. Question to chat.
Your universe
Would you like
shit
us?
happens.
Yeah. Hold on. Would you like us to explain, or at least move on to scenes?
Yeah, let's take a bit. What does chat want to see? Do we want an exploration of Epic of Fools like we've been doing, or do we want to like actually do the game and like try to do something fun without our first officer being
Wasn't
present?
Farron's whole deal in the like?
They
were
want
in a-
explanation.
They want an explanation. Thank God, I can't
Let's just
find
say-
the file.
Let's
Alright.
just say
Let our GM explain.
Iconian
because they're
shit
much
and
better.
Q happened. That's the baseline. Now go ahead, Evan.
All right, so let's start at the very beginning. Season 1 of Epic of Fools. Originally, there weren't meant to be seasons. Hang on, I'm gonna turn down Captain Jug over here a little bit, because there are children yelling in your mic. Anyways, season 1 of Epic of Fools wasn't really supposed to be season 1. The plan was initially to do just one long campaign, but I decided it would be much more fun to split it up into seasons, like it was an actual show. So each season would consist of roughly 10 episodes. Of course, it went over or under that sometimes, but that's neither here nor there. Episode 1, everyone met up at Starfleet headquarters, got acquainted with each other, discovered a shuttlecraft with an obscene name that we still never decided on. We just kind of left it up to the imagination of the crew to just picture whatever
Santos,
they
have you
wanted
ever watched
the thing to be named.
SAO Abridged?
Mute and take this to our personal DMs.
Good point.
Did the warp coils of the ship come from older ships? I don't understand the question. Well, while I'm waiting for that question to be clarified a little bit, I'm going to continue explaining Season 1. Season 1 also, in that same episode, first episode, the crew discovered that their captain had been killed in a tragic shuttle accident. And so, to quote Jackson here, their captain got replaced by the Silver Fox. That is Captain Baron, who is a character I created for Star Trek Online and just decided to put into the campaign because it was funny.
I love how the explanation for it eventually became his explanation for liking the appearance was because of one of the past hosts.
So, in the Epic of Fools story, the Triaxa is a completely new ship. It does not have any replacement coils. It may have parts from older Vesta-class starships, but for the most part it is a completely new vessel. The vessel they had before the Triaxa, the Executive, was just a Sovereign class that hadn't been put out of service yet. So it also did not have much sort of borrowed parts. It was just kind of a Sovereign class vessel that had survived up until that point. Anyways, Season 1 also was the Iconian conflict, very much inspired by Star Trek Online. We did I say we, it was mostly me. I did a very bad job of making that good. It kind of went a little off the rails, and I had to fix it at the end of that season by bringing Q in and sending them to the mirror universe.
I'm gonna interject right here because my one of the favorite moments with my character happened around the end of that season. So they really fucked up our ship. We couldn't warp nor really move. And there was a big old warship right in front of us, and we were kind of at their mercy. I was trying to negotiate with them, but they refused to listen, seeing as how they're clearly in a superior position right now. And they only demanded the piece of the Iconian world art I had. So eventually I got fed up with it and just said, I'll fucking destroy your heart if you do not help us. So that was one of my favorite moments with the character. Anyways, continue, Evan.
Yeah, I think the only reason the Iconians got interjected was because of had the Iconian world heart jammed into ends.
Yeah, that's another thing. From the beginning of Epic of Fools, Jackson really wanted his character to be unique. So he decided to have the Iconian stuff because I told him about the Iconians. So I
originally wanted short range teleportation because
he wanted to get away with a lot of stuff at the beginning of that, and I let him get away with a substantial amount, but not much.
Like a cybernetic arm.
Yeah. I let them get away with a lot later on too. It's kind of a problem. I'm not letting them get away with anything like that in yesteryear. Epic of Fools, though, it's in the name. It's the Epic of Fools. It's going to be absolutely ridiculous.
I absolutely love that name that I thought up. It's such a good name.
Anyways, where was I? Right, the Iconians.
Q.
Q
Yeah.
and the Iconians. So, at the end of... Actually, I think it was Season 2, because Season 1 and Season 2
What is a
were the
Palatine?
Iconian stuff. So, the Iconians were winning, kicking the Federation's ass, because, you know, they're the Iconians. They're like a fallen empire in Stellaris. Just absolutely overpowered. At this point, Q interjects, because he thinks it's very amusing. And to answer the question, it was neither John Delancey's Q nor the female Q from Voyager. It was just a Q who just happened to be very amused by humanity.
What is a Palatine?
Just look it up, dude.
Yeah, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Anyways, Q decides, hey, you know what would be really funny? Let's send these idiots to the Mirror Universe and see how they fare. And that was mostly done as a way to try to course correct for the absolute mess that I put the show in, or the campaign into, by doing all that Iconian stuff, because I kind of backed us into a wall where there was pretty much no way to come out of it victorious. And they get sent to the Mirror Universe, where they then meet Commander Raisin, who is a Jem'Hadar. Commander Raisin is fighting against the Terran Empire, and within the first session of that season, they all decide to also fight against the Terran Empire, like the good Starfleet officers they are.
I wanted to mingle with them and go undercover, but Jug was like, "Nah, bitch, I'm not about that life. I have to roleplay more? Nah."
That was not the reason.
Also, it's because he's a good captain and he's a good person. But
Right. So, anyways, in the Mirror Universe, they encounter the Jem'Hadar commander, known as Raisin. His full name Razanazax, I believe, but he just calls himself Raisin. Funniest character we have in Epic of Fools. Just so unbelievably funny. Which is why I'm really glad Gabe decided to stick around for yesteryear, because holy shit, he brings a whole new life to his characters. It's so funny. Anyways, after a while, they find a way home through an interphasic rift, very similar to the ones in original series in Tholian Web, you know, the ones that send the Defiant through to the Mirror Universe. And before they can get through, they have to kill the Inquisitor, who is, in this universe, Captain Baron.
yes,
Now, I set this up. I set up this fight. I had a whole thing planned. I think I even had a monologue written for Baron at some point. And before I could even start with that, Captain Jug and his first officer Raisin decide to just roll extremely good. By extremely good, I mean they rolled 3 critical successes and just insta-killed the guy. So
I love how this.
details.
You are not doing this scene the justice it deserves, because this was so fucking
that's because it
funny.
pissed me off. I had
Okay,
a whole thing planned, and you guys just completely ruined it by having god tier rolls.
It was so
nah,
good.
it was the father-son team-up powers.
It was incredible.
So-
it was absolutely
Combat doesn't start really well. 3 times D20. Combat didn't really start really well. The Inquisitor got the jump on me, knocked me on the ground, and gave me a scar on one of my eyes. After which, Raisin knocked his ass off of me and I could get up. And I don't remember the reason why, but there was a force field put between us and the Inquisitor. I think that's because we had mild control of the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had,
'Cause you
you
guys
know
had
why
chief
we had
Alex over
mouth
there.
control of the fish? We forgot to talk about my main thing in this arc, the virus.
Yeah, that happened. We'll get to that.
I
But
think it happened before this, actually.
it did happen before this. But right before the Inquisitor starts running towards the force field, he says this is going to be fun. And so in response to that, I take a couple steps back because I don't want to get knocked on my ass again. And ready my phaser rifle.
Yeah.
And waited for him to come through the force field. And the moment he does, I immediately blast him in the neck, and he's on the ground coughing. And then my dad herb stomps him. His head
It
was
was like
turned
a fucking
into a
tag team
fine
match.
paste.
It
It
was
was
so
so
No,
good.
he was on the Jim Hadar white ooze, by the way, like the
Yeah.
drug thing. So
Kept
yeah, there was
yourself
no
alive.
stopping.
Yeah. It's just I'm so mad because that little line, the "this is gonna be fun," was supposed to be the start of a longer fight, and then you killed him immediately because you got insanely lucky.
We prayed to RN Jesus.
And RN Jesus answered your prayer. This episode
Can
is
we
just
also
becoming
talk
a
about
story
how,
time for
like-
Epic of Fools.
Can we also talk about Captain Juke beating the Kobayashi Maru in a practical sense? Like earlier in the season, like earlier in the Iconian arc, he beat the Kobayashi Maru in the most badass fucking way.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, that was with the cargo ship that was having issues with their engines.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about in Epic of Fools.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
I
about.
thought that was the human freighter. I thought that was the civil, like not the
It
cargo ship, but the.
Well, yeah, it was a civilian ship, but you know, it's kind of.
I couldn't
interchangeable.
remember if it was transport or
It's
cargo.
whatever.
I think it was transport, because they were getting off they were getting off the space station.
No, not the same way Kirk did. Let's tell this story because this has generated a small amount of interest in this. So, the story behind this. Santos, would you like to tell it, or do you want me to?
I'll try telling it.
It was you. who pulled it
It's
off,
really
so.
cool. I'll try telling it the best I can remember, and just correct me on any details I forget.
Yeah.
So we're currently, before shit hits the fan, we were on a station. I can't remember which one. Was it Earth Dock?
It was not.
No, it was. I can't remember which one it is. I think it was like a far out one though.
Yeah, it was a border outpost. Large station,
Alright.
but border outpost.
Yeah. Well, we were taking some time off in the station we were at. Our science officer over here, Jackson, somehow getting drunk on food.
He was very sleep deprived. Okay, he wasn't actually getting drunk. He was just getting loopy.
And I'm carrying him back to the ship along with the others who were with me. I forget who.
And Farron's
And then-
getting yelled at by his mom on the
That was
phone.
fun. That was fun. And then alarms go off. And so we just have to book it back towards our ship to find out, hey, what the fuck's going on? Turns out some Iconian ships have engaged the station, and we were ordered to assist in the evacuation. So that's exactly what we did. Meeting Captain Barron, by the way. And was this the time when we were refitted with the better
Laser
weaponry.
cannons.
This
Yeah,
this
the
was just before.
So we were having some trouble with them because they fuck. Words are hard,
wait,
man.
wasn't this when we found the weakness in the
Yes.
Iconian ships?
That's right.
So
I
yeah,
remember.
we
you
had
did do that.
we
So,
had the
yeah.
technology. It's just we couldn't move with it.
So really,
Oh, that's right.
really
It was
quick,
unoptimized.
really quick to preface this. I really went in with my character from STO being dragged into this, so I kind of made my primary ship from Star Trek Online canon to this universe, the USS Recluse, and I am a huge fan of anti-proton weapons in Star Trek Online. So that was a big feature of the Recluse. In this universe, the Recluse was a test bed for primarily anti-proton powered phasers, which turned out to be really good for fighting Iconians, as it is in Star Trek Online. And at this point in the game, nobody had really found a way to properly destroy an Iconian ship. Until I granted them the ability to use a very weak form of anti-proton beam, which let them take down an Iconian ship. This sounds
It was
really
also because of
confusing.
my-
It's kind of
Yeah,
difficult to
it's-
explain this. We really should have
So-
recorded Epic of Fools. That would have been great.
We should have.
Yeah, so
Anyway,
basically,
yeah,
I did some shit and I figured out by because I think we got some data on some Iconian ships. So was that later down the line?
I think you got the data before and used it to get your
Yeah, that's-
conclusions.
Yeah, there was an energy source on the aft side of the ship that completely, if we shot it, it shut down a lot of the systems.
Yeah.
So we used the anti-proton weaponry to shoot that, and it like shut the systems off for like a good, how long? Like 30, 40 seconds?
I think only 10 actually.
10?
Yeah.
And we definitely utilized those 10 seconds.
Yes, you did.
That we did. So we're in combat with Iconian vessels, helping the civilian ships evacuate, but there's one that was not moving at all. And so we moved in to protect it whilst we were scanning it to figure out what the problem was. I can't remember exactly what the problem was, but there was definitely an issue with their engines and warp core. So they couldn't jump to warp, so they needed to be taken on board another shuttle. However, more Iconian ships started appearing, and we were fighting a losing battle. Meaning, if we grabbed these guys, we were not likely to escape alive. And then, Captain Baron, also there with us, as
No,
we are
'cause
using...
Captain Baron got knocked out because he rolled a terrible roll.
Captain Baron's ship
you
was
did
with us.
they did a unison thing, I thought, to pull it off.
Yeah.
Yes,
you
we
and, You and his ship. Baron himself was out cold. You guys were interacting
Oh.
with his first officer.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and with our short amount of time to figure out what to do before we had to leave, Focus's values and talents are really good.
They're not, actually. I just hadn't... This was at a point where I had very little understanding of how this game worked, to the point where I was just kind of making up the rules. With Yesteryear, I now know how the game works mostly, and we're following it a lot more close.
Let's just say,
With Epic of Fools, it was a lot more improv, if you know what I mean.
let's just say Epic of Fools is basically when you were playing Yu-Gi-Oh on the playground. You thought up your own rules.
God.
Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon on the playground. You thought up your own rules, baby.
Epic of Fools
Yep.
was just kind of, let's just do this and have a lot of fun. And it really
And
was.
Evan especially liked our final invention. But let's not get to that yet.
Yeah. We're
Oh,
telling
yeah.
the story of Captain Juke beating a proverbial Kobayashi Maru.
Technically didn't completely beat it though.
No,
Still
not
lost the station.
completely, but yeah.
One second.
Revan, do you want to pick up?
I mean, I can. Obviously, like.
Is this one of the famous Jug stopping the session midway because his parents talk to him?
Yeah.
Or the kids distract him?
That's another thing about Epic of Fools. Santos has a couple kids, some younger siblings living with him. And they would always interrupt him during Epic of Fools.
Mother's being unreasonable. I'll be back in a sec.
Okay, Evan, you pick up
Yeah.
the story.
Anyway, yeah. So the captain would often go on brief little hiatuses of inactivity during Epic of Fools, which was really funny. We'd never really explained it with an in-character thing. It was just kind of funny that the captain would sometimes just be completely absent from a scene that he should absolutely be in. But to the way this scenario was beat, Santos starts asking me a few questions about how the power systems work and how he could possibly, like, perform a transport while going to warp at the same time. Honestly, it kind of has no basis in any Star Trek at all.
But he
but
rolled fucking good.
It was really cool, in my opinion, so I let it slide. Basically, what happened, after he finished grilling me on how the power systems worked on the ship, he asked, can I start charging the warp drive and route the excess energy through the transporter buffers to energize and jump to warp at the same time? And I let him get away with it. So...
And what percentage of the people did we save?
I think it was like 80%.
That's still really good.
Yeah. Torpedo in the Iconian tailpipe. Yes, that was essentially the weakness of the Iconian ships in the campaign. Anyways, picture, if you will, a Sovereign-class starship hovering over a civilian vessel, charging its warp coils, the nacelles starting to glow really bright, because that's what signifies jumping to warp now, rather than just a quick flash. J.J. Abrams had to come in with 2009 and Into Darkness and just kind of, charges for a bit of time and, slowly builds. I mean, it looks cool, but it's like...
It's very impractical when you're escaping in battle.
Yeah, but it also is just... It feels kind of basic. I feel like the original style was much cooler. The snappiness of jumping to warp is really cool. Anyways...
With the lever.
Oh, the lever, Grong.
Anyways, the ship's charging its warp coils, and in the transporter room, at the exact same second, the energy from the warp coils being charged is being shunted through the transporter systems, forcing them to work really hard. Think of it kind of like overclocking a computer, and just, manages to beam everyone from civilian ship aboard the Executive as he jumped to warp. And that is how Captain Jug beat the Kobayashi Maru. But not really, because it wasn't the Kobayashi Maru. It was just Kobayashi Maru-ish.
Kobayashi Maru. And technically beat it. Technically is the real word here.
Yeah, technically.
Because 20% of the people still died.
Yeah. It was a technical victory in the ship itself didn't die. Which is, a big thing in the Kobayashi Maru. Where no matter what you do, your ship is always at risk. Unless you're Sulu and you just completely ignore everything your crew is telling you. By the way, absolutely go and do some looking into all of the Kobayashi Maru stuff of all the characters in Star Trek, because I've recently found that there is a book that describes all that. It is really cool. I highly recommend it. If I remember to, I'll put it in the video description. But yeah, it is really cool. Kobayashi Maru is awesome. Captain Juke had a really unique solution. Anyways, what other stories can we tell about this?
Back to the what other stories do we have?
How many torpedoes were dumped into the Iconian engineering sections? Depends on which ship. For the most part, in that situation, they were just trying to stay alive, so they weren't really destroying the Iconians as much as they were disabling them. So they were using like 1 or 2 torpedoes at most, just to disable them.
Also, let's just say if we do more of these Epic of Fools, you're gonna see a lot of the virus. I go heavy on that bitch.
Let's explain the virus really quick, because I want to like clarify for YouTube that we're not talking about the virus. We're talking about a computer virus that Lieutenant Triton created in the Mirror Universe.
Technically ends at that time.
Yeah, technically ends at that time. Quick explanation for that. For the transition back from the Mirror Universe, because Q decided to let them go early, Lieutenant Enns made a deal with Q, and the entire point of everything I ever do to Lieutenant Triton
was to kill my ego.
Is to humble him, because Jackson just...
I'm a Leo and I have main character syndrome, okay?
It's just so annoying sometimes, because you think you're so invincible with your characters, and I just wanted to take you down a peg, and you didn't get it. So I took away the symbiote.
When she finally started talking to the little shit and he took him away.
Yeah. That's another fun story. For the entire campaign, I was in private messages with Jackson talking as his symbiote. Just doing
not the entire campaign. It's just when the shard was taken out.
Yeah, once it became plot relevant, I started talking to him as the symbiote. And it was really funny.
And I finally just started talking to little shit, and you ripped him away like right when we went to the Mirror Universe. I thought I'd have him when we got back out, but no.
It was great. It was awesome.
Because since it was us going into the Mirror Universe bodies, it wasn't my ends. So yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same one that I just started talking to, because it was like maybe 1 or 2 sessions I got to talk to Ends, and then maybe 3 at most.
Anyways, this computer virus that Lieutenant Triton did, this was an extended task that I had him complete over, I think, was it 4 sessions? Right? 4 sessions?
No, remember? I got to make it right away. That was my arm.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the upgrading of it. No, I used like my focuses and shit to make that virus.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, okay. So this computer virus was essentially something where you open a comm channel with the enemy ship.
It was so Star Trek.
Yeah. This actually is really funny, because I recently watched a little bit of Prodigy, which is... It's not the worst thing, but it's like... I'll make a video on my opinions on all the current Trek shows at some point, except Discovery. I'm not doing a video on Discovery ever, but... Yeah, anyways. I watched a bit of Prodigy. There is a plot point in Prodigy which is kind of exactly the same as your computer virus, which is really funny. What's it called? It's called the...
So
What is the thing called? It's some sort of
So-
device that basically, when a ship scans the thing, it turns the ship against the Federation, basically. But it's
okay,
kind
mine
of in the
isn't
same
like
vein.
that though.
No,
Yeah.
yours really is. It's very
Mine
much the same.
Is.
Yeah,
But if I altered it for more tactical means, but mine was
no,
if they picked up the
I'm
hit
telling you,
initially.
it's very much the same because the way the
It
virus
is?
worked is in Prodigy, it shut down the ship's systems and then reprogrammed them. Yours just didn't reprogram them. Yours just shut down the systems.
If I worked on it, if we do an Epic of Fools season 2, Evan, I am using the stuff that we learned from the Borg to be able to do that now. Thank you very much, Evan.
Yeah.
But
Anyway.
so what mine did is initially, if they picked up the comms, like the hail, it made it so that every system on their ship shut off besides life support, and it could piggyback off if like the hail was open between other ships. So basically, it was like this cascading array of like a whole like 5 ships that go down in an instant.
Yeah, it was very
And then-
very Star Trek.
But
It's
and
a
then
very good
eventually I
solution.
upgraded it enough that they didn't even need to pick up hail.
Yeah. That was a
So,
little
it-
overpowered though, so I'm thinking of taking that away.
How about just a contested check against one of their ship systems?
All right, fine.
Yeah.
He's gonna
I
pick the
balanced it
highest
for you.
technical. He's gonna
Yeah.
pick
I'm
pick
gonna
the ship with
spend-
the highest computer score.
I'm gonna spend so much threat to make it a difficult roll. Yeah. Anyways, that all happened. Where was that
Oh, yeah,
story going?
I don't know. I called my dad though. He didn't pick up. I have no idea if he's even gonna make it.
All right.
Oh, we're having fun here.
We're just reminiscing on Epic of Fools instead of doing a campaign. That's awesome. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
this is
we'll
good
do that
content,
next
though.
week.
Yeah, well,
It
we'll
is. Epic of
yeah.
Fools was so fun. Remember when my dad disowned me after we came back from the Mirror Universe?
yes.
That did happen.
I
Yeah,
was
so basically,
happy with that development because it actually finally made
It
you
did
kind
humble
of
him.
start getting humbled in your character. It was so satisfying for me. I mean, like, not your family disowning you. That's not satisfying. That's tragic. But,
so
like, it was so satisfying when you finally started taking your character as like not the invincible guy you thought he was.
all it
so
took was
good.
for a father disowning a son.
The virus was made after the Iconian shenanigans, so we wouldn't
Yeah, it
even
was
be
made
able
in the
to.
Mirror Universe. Yeah.
It would be really cool if we could, though. Seriously, give us an edge. Oh, God knows we needed it.
Yes.
Yeah. So, also, I'm just really mad that Evan, because to kill my ego once more, after creating my sleeve, he didn't even let me use it. Because, it was over multiple sessions. Like, at the beginning and end of each session, I rolled to see how the progress I made on my arm.
For context on this sleeve thing, when we brought them back from the Mirror Universe, I made the decision to take away his arm too, because he hadn't been humbled enough. So not only did I take away his symbiote, but I also took away the other.
You took away my
I took
symbiote.
away-
You took away my family, and you gave me
Yeah.
a regular arm
I took away basically everything that made his character
that made
unique.
Triton Triton.
Yeah, I took away.
You
everything
took away
that made
the
his character
ends.
unique. Yeah, I took away everything that made his character unique to just humble him a bit, and it was so funny because he didn't get humbled.
He
and
took away the
immediately-
Iconian World Heart. He took away ends. He took away my family, and he took away my robotic arm
Yeah,
and gave me a regular one.
but see, here's the thing though. When I gave him back his regular arm, you guys want to know what his first thought was? His first
Oh,
Chop
thought
it right
was,
off,
hang on,
baby.
yeah. His first thought was, how do I get my mechanical arm back? I need to start building one and then cut my arm off again. And
It
so
took
this
Farron's
guy,
interference to make me think up.
he
It took
wanted
Farron's.
he started doing behind the scenes, like, secret, away from the rest of the crew tasks to start building a new arm. And it took the intervention of me, as one of the NPC characters, coming in and checking up on him to stop him. Just...
Also, Triton has been going to the therapist, like off camera.
Yeah. And it was just... Eventually, in character, Dr. Farron and the NPC that intervened got him down to the point where he agreed to not cut his arm off again, because that's insane.
Also,
and just
he
make a
is
little
going
sort
to.
of sleeve that attaches to your arm that's kind of
He is
mechanical.
now also going to encrypt all his files because of the giant blunder that happened with the Borg shit.
I mean, there was
They
also
literally, Evan humbled me once more by not even, like, he did it once again by utilizing my virus against me that I was so proud of.
Yep.
fucking. Also, wasn't that how Max found out about his chop off
Yeah,
arm?
I didn't. Yeah, I did not encrypt my files. So yeah, he is going to encrypt his files now.
For someone who is a scientist, you sure don't take too much care.
Yeah, he got a stern talking to from Juke about encrypting files from now on.
Lieutenant Commander Orin Grax, yes. The therapist is a Beta Z. Alright. Anyways, eventually we got him talked down from making this sleeve. Or from making
No, from making the arm.
So he starts an extended task over the course of pretty much the rest of the season to make just a little attachable sleeve thing that functions kind of the same way as the arm.
And it can switch between phaser energy and anti-proton energy.
Yeah. And
I got some pretty good rolls when it came to the experimental
decided-
tech rolls.
I decided to once again humble him in the end.
He didn't let me use the sleeve!
It was actually kind of accidental, but really perfect.
He didn't let...
again,
After the
spoilers.
session that I would have been able to use it.
Spoilers again.
Oh, that's right.
Spoilers again for Picard Season 3. The way the Borg worked there was essentially anyone under the age of 25 who had been through a transporter had a
If
bit
I
of
was
DNA
1 year
code
older,
added
Sorry.
had a bit of code added to their DNA that would allow for a remote assimilation. Again, big spoiler for the finale of Star Trek Picard Season 3. It just so happens that a lot of our players decided to give canonical ages for their characters.
No. Q made it so that Captain Raisin was just always a part of the universe, but people still give him a side eye.
What?
Because they asked in the comments, did the captain order the Mirror Universe alien
Oh,
back
okay, yeah.
to go to
I see that
Starfleet
now.
training? No, Q
Short
kind of
answer is
just
no.
made it that he was part of
Yeah.
Starfleet.
Think of it kind of like a 7 of 9 situation, where it was kind of just
know what?
the captain training the alien to be more Starfleet. think of it kind of that way.
Evan, I feel like you are using Q strictly as a Deus Ex Machina.
Of course I am.
Isn't that what Q is in the regular show?
Yes.
An almighty god that makes plot points come and makes plot points go.
Exactly. And so that's how we're
He
going
may
to-
start the problem, but he also ends it.
This is really fun just talking about Epic of Fools. It's so nice to reminisce on it.
But yeah, in the final episode where I would have been able to use my arm sleeve, I get taken over by the Borg virus because I was 1 year too young. I would have been able to use it if I was 1 year older.
We have a bit of a story about some of the bullshit our DM here tried to pull.
I still stand firm in that it wasn't bullshit. You guys just it was.
Oh, you're talking about him.
Here, let me tell this story. Let me tell this.
No! Don't no!
You're gonna bend the words.
You will bend the truth.
Will I?
Okay.
Okay. Let me tell my version of it first, and then you guys can correct me if I mislead the audience in any way. That sound good?
All right, sure.
So, for this final episode, I was having Jackson play as his assimilated self. And because all of the characters were on the bridge of their vessel when this all happened, when he was assimilated, I asked him to make an attack roll against any of the currently standing player characters. Now, his options were a Jem'Hadar, a Denobulan, and a Bajoran. Who wants to take a guess at who he chose to attack? If you said the Denobulan or the Bajoran, you would be absolutely wrong.
I felt like he would be able to easily stop me. I feel like he would have been the easiest to stop me without killing me, okay?
Yeah, Jackson did metagame that a little bit, but Evan's response was bullshit.
I still strongly disagree.
I feel like Farron would have actually killed me if I went after them.
Oh, Iconian Tech didn't exist. After we came back, Q just made that disappear and replaced it with another problem.
Yeah, I kind of used Q to erase all of the problems I made for the thing.
Just like how he is in the show.
Okay,
no, I took Q really far. Let me finish the story really fit.
You're not done yet.
Yeah, I'm not done. I'm not done because I need to explain my reasoning here. So, I assume everyone who is subscribed to this channel and is watching this stream knows at least a bit about Star Trek, and probably knows that the Jem'Hadar are a bred-from-the-tube warrior race designed for the sole purpose of conquering other races and defending the Dominion against all outside threat. They are literally known for their brutality and strength, and because of this, I decided that Commander Raisin would roll to defend himself.
Oh, that's how we got.
And he rolled really well.
No, Jackson, let him finish.
He rolled a critical success, and as such, I took that and interpreted it as the Jem'Hadar was defending his life against a very clear threat to his life in the form of a now assimilated crew member making the decision to attack him directly with the clear intention to murder him. So, I decide that this Jem'Hadar responds the way pretty much anyone would in this situation. Kill the threat. Now, this was taken extremely poorly by the players, who, to this day, call it bullshit. So I retconned it.
It was even my father, Raisin, the Jem'Hadar was like, yeah, that's bullshit. The one you made
you
kill him
didn't
anyway.
give him any agency.
However,
you just told him, hey, you killed him.
Yes, because it makes sense. Are you saying that
Evan.
in the event that you were being... in the Season 3 finale, people literally start shooting their own crewmates because they get assimilated?
Yeah, but here's the thing. We're all idiots.
And yes, clearly.
Not only that, one of my folk values for the character was leave no one behind. If he targeted me,
Yes.
even if I
however-
attacked him at full force, I wouldn't fucking kill him.
Yes, however, Commander Raisin does not have that value.
Okay.
So your point's
Alright,
invalid. Anyways,
now
these
let
guys
me-
complain
What is
about it.
Raisin's
I wanna tell
values,
the story.
Evan? What
I
is
want-
Raisin's values?
Now, I would like to tell this story. Now,
Yeah.
granted, Jackson did
tell your
metagame
perspective.
this. Jackson did metagame this a little bit by choosing to attack the Jem'Hadar, which also, in his defense, would be the person able to deal with him the quickest, causing the least threat to the rest of the crew. Now, ignoring the metagaming right now, rolling a critical success to defend himself, for Raisin to defend himself from the assimilated scientist. Commander Raisin is just a Jem'Hadar. He rolled a critical success to defend himself.
Your Honor,
Critical
he
success is
rolled a critical success. Your Honor, not silence me.
I'm not done, Jackson. Typically,
Okay,
critical
hang on, wait,
successes.
really quick.
I'm not done.
Hang on, really quick. Commander Raisin is not half Klingon. However, that reminds me of my favorite story of this whole thing, and once they're done here, we're gonna totally tell it.
Are we talking about Farron and a Klingon?
No.
Oh my god,
carry
I know
on.
what he's talking
Yeah,
about.
carry
I know
on,
what he's
carry
talking
on,
about.
Carry on your story.
Alright.
Carry
Alright.
on your side of the story.
I will
which, by
continue
the way,
presenting my
is
case.
still your guys' take on it is still
Rolling
bullshit.
rolling a critical success in any tabletop game, regardless of if the critical success is a 1 or a 20. A critical success means you perform your task to the best you possibly could.
In
Now,
the way you want
and
it.
he was now our Jem'Hadar here was defending himself, not proactively fighting him, attempting to actually take down a threat. And also, might I add, he was originally from the Mirror Universe with memories from there, so his thoughts align less with, he's a threat, let's kill him. Granted, he did do that a lot, but he was more lenient.
You see how you just
wa-
counteracted your own
He was
point?
more lenient with people he was friends with or crew with. So by
To be
rolling
honest,
a critical
he did stay in his
success,
room, like in game, for like a week, because, he was mourning his twin's death. So
yeah, he cares about his friends, so even if one of them was assimilated, wouldn't just try to kill him. Rolling a critical success, he performed the action he was trying to do to the best of his ability, defending himself. Now, defending yourself does not strictly mean killing the enemy. While in the
In
court
the
of law
case-
here, in the court
of a Jem'Hadar, which I have previously established, as well as Star Trek has previously established, are literally a race of genetically bred super soldiers. That is what defending yourself means.
counterpoint, he's still from the fucking Mirror Universe whose thoughts aligned more with the Federation's.
Counterpoint.
Oh, good. He's
again.
gonna be here soon. He's gonna be here soon. He can fucking argue this too. He defended himself. How did
Counterpoint
Borg?
again.
if Crowley
He
rolling,
didn't- He didn't have any more of the Catch Yourself White. He only had the one vial he used when fighting
Also-
the Inquisitor.
can we also say that rolling a nat 1 should mean that you do what you want to do to the best of your abilities, not the general thing. Just what your character wants to do, what your
As long
player
as-
wants to do.
As long as it's not something as extreme as, oh hey, I want to jump, I roll a critical success,
Okay,
I jump to the moon.
however-
That is outside the realm of possibility. So that you would argue in the DM's
The realm of
defense.
possibility is that he would not try to kill me. That is within the realm of possibility.
Yeah, you guys are full of shit. That's all I'm
You're
I'm
actually
sorry,
full
we
of
are
shit.
talking in terms of TTRPG.
You guys literally complained about this to the point where I retconned it. You have no room, okay?
What do you mean we have no room? You tried to kill him for bullshit reasons, alright?
And you tried to save him for bullshit reasons, and it worked.
No, it is
I
not
feel
bullshit.
like no. Let's talk about this in real terms. This was because of the gravity cannon, wasn't it?
Maybe partially, but no.
Oh, to give chat context. If any of you have played Half-Life, you know what the gravity gun is. Now,
They built one.
yeah,
no, we built
that's
the tractor
that's-
beam gun. Technically,
That's the Cliff Notes of
Technically.
it.
we
yeah,
technically
so-
built the portable tractor beam gun.
because we were dealing with Klingons, not Klingons, with changelings at that point in the story, I was like, wait a minute. If they're just puddles of goop in their normal forms, it wouldn't tear them apart if we grabbed them with it. So why not just make...
Because Evan's
This.
prerequisite, if you grabbed a human or a humanoid person, it would, or any living creature, it would tear them apart.
Yeah, but...
That was his
changelings-
prerequisite.
Yeah, but
But
changelings are
since
goop.
since
Yeah,
changelings
that's
are
essentially
like,
what it is.
yeah, it wouldn't have taken apart the changeling because it, yeah.
I also gave them the term...
And the
goop.
fact that we created this gun for technically no reason because
No,
Farron
it
just
was-
went up with a hypo spray and like put their changeling in the hypo spray bottle.
My thought process was,
Really
well,
forgot they
we
did
have a
that.
changeling on board. This is a way we can deal with it. And it did, in fact, work to defend us whilst we were escaping the ship.
Yeah, Raisin fucking took panels off the wall and slammed into changed like assimilated Borgs with these panels.
That almost sounds like it could have killed them. What
No,
were you
no,
guys
we argued it.
saying
No, Evan,
about
we
how
argued.
this-
We argued this already. We argued this already.
I know. I'm just
we
pointing
were
out the
given the
fallacy
go-ahead.
in your logic.
There's no fallacy here.
Yes, there is.
It didn't. The fucking launching the machine.
Oh, the
gun
man,
didn't
the myth,
kill
the
him.
legend is here.
Oh, is he? Oh, Father, great! You can now argue why Evan's decision to kill Jackson was bullshit, and it's a good thing he was brought back.
Why was it bullshit?
Oh, you don't remember when he when
I
the whole
metagamed it and
torch-
chose you because you would have been the most physically capable of restraining me. But since you rolled a critical success, Evan decided for you, even like without like your feelings or anything, decided to try to kill me.
Now I remember. Yes, that
Yeah.
was quite nuts.
yeah, dude. For the last like probably
It's been an
5,
hour
10
and
10
minute?
minutes.
no, this specifically for the last
Oh, this
5-10 minutes.
specifically, yeah.
This story got brought up, and Evan remains adamant that he is not in the wrong. Meanwhile, me
not.
and Jackson over
You
here
decided to
arguing that he's
attack
bullshit.
The Jem'Hadar. That's
I
not-
decided to attack the most physically capable of restraining me.
Who just so happened to be the guy who could literally punch your skull in without much
Baron
effort.
could punch my skull in.
Not without much
They
effort.
took down. Their mean right hook could punch a hole in the wall, and you know that.
That's not the same.
They
as
took down
your
a Klingon with very little effort.
But they didn't kill that
Hey.
Klingon.
Yeah. So Father, for the past let's see, hour and however many minutes, we have been stalling for your arrival and just been telling stories about Epic of Fools.
Honestly, it's been much more fun than whatever.
It has
I
been
came up
so
with,
fun.
But hey, he's
That's
here.
good.
I would have to, if I'm gonna throw my 2 cents in. I don't think I would have just killed him outright.
Thank you.
Maybe broken arm or two,
Told
but
him.
Yeah, I would have definitely bust him.
Yeah,
but I'll be like,
yeah.
like,
What the hell you thinking, boy?
Hey, whoa, that little fella. What you
Oh my
think you
god.
doing?
Before we progress to anything else, whether we go on to whatever Evan had planned today, or if we're gonna
No, we
continue
don't have
talking.
time for that now.
I'm sure we do. We've gone on for several hours before. Fucking, my Raisin and Dr. Farron was fighting Changeling on our ship, and the Changeling was going on about some bullshit about him being a Jem'Hadar, so why is he with Starfleet? And going against them. Father, I can't remember exactly what you said. I only remember the end. I'm as free as can be, and then I dance a jig on top of him.
Yeah, that wasn't far from what happened. I kind of went into a small monologue about how all of my creators were from an alternate dimension that don't even exist anymore. So I am like the freest creature, being, whatever on the planet. So I decided to dance.
I didn't know our ship was a planet.
I was on a planet before. So.
He was
on a
born
rock.
on a planet.
As you
Oh,
guys in chat
whoa,
can see,
no.
Epic of Fools was an Epic of Fools, and it was really fun.
It was so fun.
It was awesome. I feel like we've exhausted a lot of our stories.
What's the Klingon one you wanted to talk about, Evan?
Oh,
Yes.
that's right, the Klingon one.
The Klingon story I wanted to tell.
Oh
this-
my god, are you talking about
this
the one where I
particular
fucking...
one- This particular story has stuck with me the entire time because it is just so funny to me.
What was their name?
It is
Fuck, I have to scroll up to find it now.
It is unreasonably funny to me. It should not be as funny as it is, but it just is.
Hold on, where's
So-
where's Epic of Fools? Where's Epic of Fools?
To
I have to
give-
find this name now.
To give a little bit of backstory for this, building up to the finale, we did something different than Star Trek Picard Season 3, where it was just the changelings, Vadic, all that stuff. We involved the Klingons in the plot as well. We involved the changelings are trying to completely throw chaos into the Alpha and Beta quadrants. And
It's Takushal.
yeah, that, whatever. Anyways, one of the episodes was focused around reclaiming a mine from the Klingons, a dilithium mine, because the Klingons had been infiltrated by the changelings. They were fighting a war against the Federation to try to weaken them for Frontier Day. And there comes a point in the main control center of this mine where Commander Raisin and one of the leaders of the Klingon away teams meet in a hallway and immediately start to fight. For this fight, I had Jackson playing the Klingon.
I fucking loved it. His
And-
name was Takushal. It was so fun.
And this fight was interlaced with little bits of improv dialogue between the characters. And it led to what I personally think was the funniest conclusion to any scene in the entire campaign. So, after a fairly close fight,
You are
Commander
a warrior.
Raisin ends up dealing the final blow. However, I asked if he wanted to say anything to the Klingon or have like this little moment with the Klingon he had just felled. They took this moment, and I forget exactly what Jackson said. I believe it was
You
something along
are
the
a-
lines of, "You fight well, Jem'Hadar." Something
You
along
are a
those lines.
warrior.
Yeah, something like that. And in response to this, the single funniest line, just because of its sheer stupidity and just out of nowhereness, you'd expect like a "you fought well too" sort of thing. No. In response, Commander Raisin simply says, I like your muscles, before stabbing the Klingon through the heart, killing him.
And then
Hold
our
on,
next
hold on.
scene-
Didn't he? Wait. Didn't he also kiss him on the forehead?
Yes.
Yes, it did happen.
And then the next scene, I had to
and
take
it's
over for
just-
Santos because he was not doing the roleplay justice.
I wasn't doing the roleplay at all. You just took it
It was
because I
Because
didn't
you-
wanna.
It was just so incredibly random and so perfect for Epic of Fools. Just so good. And yeah, that is, in my opinion, the funniest scene in Epic of Fools.
Oh yeah. Seeing as how we don't have enough time for a full session right now because you refuse to go beyond like 2 hours.
I've got work tomorrow, so
Why don't we do like small scenes with the characters so the whoever's watching either now or in the future gets the slightest feel for our characters for when we do season 2 of Epic of Fools.
alright. I think I've got a pretty good idea for a setting of this as well, if we're gonna be doing like a little meet the characters sort of thing. Alright. So, for
I'm gonna
this,
be humble Triton.
for this scene,
I'm gonna be emotion.
for this scene where we're just doing a little introduction with the characters, we're gonna go pretty much completely improv. You guys have complete control over the scene.
Oh no.
Probably a horrible idea based on certain episodes of Epic of Fools we don't talk about.
The
Yeah.
pilot and the beach episode.
Yes.
You're not allowed to have
This-
full creative control of anything anymore, Jackson.
Yeah, you get, let's
This-
actually have Gabe take the lead. He's really good at improv.
Yes. This scene will be taking place in the bar. 10 forward. Whenever you guys are ready, take it away.
Okay, really quick. Are we just sitting? Are we all just sitting down there, or?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, cool. So
this scene
uh,
scene can be whatever you want it to be. The only
Oh,
stipulation I've got for you is it's taking place in 10 forward. 'Cause
okay, so
it's
do
trying to be chill.
is it
What's the-
after the events of season 1?
Yes.
What's the do we know the bartender's name? Is it our bartender? No.
There is not
what-
presently a bartender on duty.
Oh,
You
there's
guys are the
not?
only ones in the bar.
I don't think I should take any.
I'm not.
Wait,
oh,
what's-
what the fuck?
Sorry.
Ah, shit.
What?
Oh, did his mic explode?
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
What?
Yeah.
For some- My keyboard just decided to disconnect.
Oh.
That was weird. Yeah.
Ah.
Alright, well, I'm not at the bar yet. I'm gonna walk through the door in just a second, but let me put my keyboard back together.
All right.
No alcohol for me, just coffee.
Does he? Oh, this is out of character. Does Jackson have his sleeve on?
No.
No, it's in a tube around my back.
Okay, so I can still see it.
No, it's like a very protected tube. Like
Mm.
it could go through a car ramming into it and it'll be fine.
Think very
I'm sure-
stereotypical anime character with a backpack.
Ah, I see. I understand.
Okay, I'm back. So I'm gonna walk through the door. Nobody notices me. I'm going to wait till one of them is picking up one of their cups and kind of raising it to their face. When I pull up a little mini grav gun from behind my back and I shoot the thing, and I take the glass out of their hand and kind of load it over to myself. I'm like, oh,
Oh, coffee!
I see. You got started without me, huh? I'm gonna take that glass and start
Coffee.
drinking it as I walk up.
You seem to be having fun with that, Raisin.
I'm gonna really quickly make a retcon. You guys are not gonna have a mini graph gun. Absolutely
No.
not.
No, you cannot
Absolutely
take this
not.
from us. No, you cannot take
guys-
this from us.
You can have your normal one. You cannot have a mini one. Absolutely not.
Isn't that just the one we made?
Yeah.
No.
No, is it like minigun size, Evan?
Raisin, what's the size you were thinking for this? Is this like an actual mini, like, pocket-sized gravity gun? Because absolutely
no.
not. There is no way in hell you guys are having that.
I was thinking it was along the lines of fucking
Like portal gun?
either a small pistol or like a portable.
That is. What was that?
Okay.
Huh?
He said portal gun.
Oh, that's not that
Yeah.
bad.
Alright.
Yeah, it's like a mid-size.
All right.
I remember
Okay,
my
that's alright then.
yeah, my what was it? Not discussion when trying to like shake people down or like get information from people. I know that went up 20% by me having this thing because I can strangle people from across the room.
You
I
can't.
don't
It'll
rem-
make them
I don't-
explode.
Yeah, you'll kill people if you use it on them.
That was his one stipulation.
Well, I'm still taking the drink out of his hand.
Not the coffee. I haven't slept in it. I shouldn't be saying that in front of the captain.
You say a lot of things you shouldn't, Lieutenant Triton.
I'm sleep deprived. Lieutenant Commander now. Thank you very much, sir.
I
I'm very much liking my new title.
I feel like you're always sleep deprived.
I've just been
Anyways,
working late on
Raisin.
some experiments.
No more
I
chopping
know
your
it's-
arm off.
It's not the chopping my arm off kind.
Anyways, Raisin, how have you been?
You know, working around with 2 knives, fighting against Cleogs, doing
I
things
forgot
in
you-
places. Yes, I'm not. Oh, am I still? Because we're still on a ship. Are we still part of the same crew?
Yes.
Yeah.
Same
We're
crew,
in
new
10
ship.
forward right now. The bar. Immediately after the events of season 1.
Like,
Evan,
I don't think Evan, is it immediately or is it a year after? You said a year after
It
earlier.
is a year after.
Okay. Evan, I saw your face palm. This is your mistake. You gave us creative freedom.
Yes, I'm very aware.
We lost 2 people.
Sorry, guys.
This is what happens when you give us full creative freedom. You gotta set a proper scene, not just your intent forward.
You know,
It's
Raisin,
much
I
more
was
funny
actually,
this way, though.
I was thinking about actually making you like a cool knife.
You don't say. You may have your coffee back then, sir. I give him back his coffee because I wasn't
You
even.
know, I actually drew up some blueprints here.
You make knives? Since when were you a smith, Commander?
It's more creating stuff with it's not that hard. I have a lot of machinery that I can utilize in my lab. But it has some cool attachments and stuff that I was planning on adding, like you can throw it and it returns back to like a glove thing on your hand. That'd be cool.
That does seem pretty neat. Now I got a suggestion. How about if I push this one button right here on the hilt, it turns into 3 knives.
I mean, that could be created fairly easily.
Can?
That's it. Yeah, it's just the knives will be much thinner. It's just you're gonna have to practice with a lot thinner knives to be able to use them.
If they're too...
It's just you can't create space out of no space, so it's just gonna have to be a lot thinner of knives.
Why is this turned into a conversation about knives?
Yeah, alright. we're gonna stop this.
Okay.
now. Alright.
To the 3 people watching right now, this is what happens when we are given full creative freedom. I wanted this to be like, oh hey, this is
Oh
like
my
kind of how our
God.
characters act, but then
This is how
we
your
were
guys'
just-
characters act. What do you mean? That was a perfect
no,
demonstration.
we act far better once we're given proper scenes, scenarios.
This is also
No, you
sleep
act-
deprived Triton, not like
you act more appropriate to the scene when you're given like a proper scene.
Exactly.
this is actually for some reason sleep deprived Triton
So yeah.
can like actually like think not like rationally but like better, like smarter. Not rationally though.
Okay, you made that point.
Yeah.
Jesus
All
Christ.
right. Well, we're coming up on almost 2 hours for the live stream here. We're gonna end it here because I think unless you guys have any other stories you'd like to share from Epic of Fools,
And maybe another scene that isn't as piss poor.
we're not doing another scene. No, not at all. Not happening.
Maybe this wouldn't have turned out so
We
bad.
lost viewers.
Hasn't Farron taking down 2 Klingons?
Technically, yes.
I swear they took down 2 Klingons.
Technically, yes. Technically 3, actually, if you count Harab, but we're not getting into that right now.
Oh yeah.
Alright. Well, this has been really fun and also really chaotic. Thank you to those of you who stuck around in the live stream for these shenanigans. I hope you guys were
Yeah,
entertained.
Dustin D is the only person who ever commented in
Yeah.
any of the videos.
Thank you for the interaction, Dustin D. It's been a pleasure. Hope you come back and join us for one of our proper sessions. Yesteryear should be back next week. One of our players is just currently out of the country on a trip to Japan. So
I do kind of
Yeah.
want to actually make something for Raisin.
that being said, we're gonna end the live stream here. Thank you guys, and yeah, bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.